In 1988, I lost this guitar. It took me 37 years to find another one. This is not a guitar review, this is a story. So, this was one of the first guitars I ever bought with my own money. It wasn't something that was a gift, it wasn't a hand me down, it was something that I chose. So, I was saving money to buy a different guitar. I had saved all summer, and the day I went to the guitar store to pick up the guitar I had been saving for, I walked in and there it was. This guitar was sitting there. This was something special. Like, wow. I looked at it, I picked it up, and it was more than I had saved for. It wasn't practical, but once I picked up this guitar, I knew that, I had to have it. And I learned that day that you don't always pick the guitar. Sometimes the guitar picks you. So I bought that guitar and I brought it home, and it was glorious. It was everything I wanted. Not long after that, I packed up everything I owned, jumped in an RV, and moved out to California. And we stayed out there for a while, but almost as soon as I got there, I was removed from the country without any of my possessions. I left everything behind. And it seemed at the time like a temporary situation, but temporary has a way of becoming permanent. And I never made it back there. And that's how this guitar quietly slipped out of my life. I've owned a lot of guitars since then, more expensive guitars, better guitars. This was still the one that got away. Nothing has replaced that guitar. And it wasn't even about that guitar. At some point, it was a piece of my life that I didn't have closure. And I felt like there just wasn't a proper ending. I couldn't stop thinking about that guitar. I went on chat groups, I went on forums, I did Facebook ads, everything I could try to do to figure out either where that guitar had gone or how I could get another one. One day, very recently, someone messaged me on Reddit out of the blue, and it seems like all of those posts I had made years and years ago were suddenly going to pay off. They happened to come across one of these guitars and thought they would reach out and see if I was still looking for one. And I didn't believe it at first. I didn't know what to think. I had really it had really been hard to find one of these guitars. And I asked them to send me a picture. They sent me a photo of the guitar, and I just couldn't believe it. There it was. After all this time, and they were only a few hours away from me. And so I knew that I just had to get this guitar back. I needed some closure. So let me tell you, when I picked up this guitar for the first time in over 37 years, I can't even describe the feeling. It was like it was never gone. It felt exactly the way I remembered it. It played really well still. And even though this one has, some bumps and bruises, I kind of imagined that this is the way it would have looked if I had had it myself this whole time. It stopped that feeling in the back of my head that something was missing. I always felt that. I can't even describe it, but it did close the loop. I have it back. It's not the exact same guitar, but it might as well be. It is exactly what I was looking for. So this guitar came with a really heavy road case, and that's not really practical for in the house everyday use. It got me thinking about a whole other project, something that I really feel like I have to do to honor this guitar and give it a safe place. And so I did something about that. If you want to see how that turned out, well, that's the next chapter.